Hi, I'm Tim. Please join me in this video as I'll show you a list that you can find all of the AMA FRIAs that you can fly your RC model airplanes at without a remote ID requirement. Let's get to it. As I mentioned in the introduction, I'll show you how you can get a list of every AMA FRIA or FAA Recognized Identification Area RC flying field in the United States. These are fields where you need no remote ID equipment at all to fly. First, a very quick review of remote ID. Remote ID is the law of the land right now per regulation. All RC modelers have to fly with a remote ID, either standard installed in the factory, which is all drones being sold today, or a remote ID broadcast module, which can be purchased from several vendors. Due to delays in producing the module for broadcasting remote ID, the FAA extended the compliance date for remote ID to March 16th, 2024. The FAA would like you to fly with a remote ID, but there will be no enforcement actions until March 16th of 2024. There are a few exceptions to the remote ID, and I'm speaking primarily for recreational flyers. All Part 107 need remote ID. But if you're a recreational RC pilot, drone, quadcopter, fixed wing helicopter, the exceptions for remote ID where you don't need it: if your model weighs less than 250 grams, about 8.8 ounces, there's no registration, therefore no remote ID is required. Certain government users do not require remote ID. They know who they are. And if you're just a regular recreational flyer and your club field has a FRIA or an FAA Recognized Identification Area, you do not need any remote ID equipment at all, assuming that you're following the rules of your local club, keeping a model within visual sight under 400 feet, and not flying over people. But there's always been a little bit of discussion and confusion. Well, how can you find out which fields are or are not FRIAs? So I'm going to show you here in a moment the the AMA's approach to the FRIAs and what the FAA is going to eventually do listing FRIA RC model airfields. The FRIAs are a pretty good deal for recreational RC pilots. When the remote ID ruling, the draft ruling, first came out, the FRIAs were just going to be allowed for 1 year. There were going to be a transition to a world where everybody had remote ID. The Academy of Model Aeronautics managed to negotiate a 4-year timeline for the FRIAs, so every FRIA being authorized by the FAA is good for 4 years. And it was difficult getting the FRIAs issued. It was a brand new process for everybody. There were environmental reviews, just a lot of stuff going on. I don't have the exact number, but I'd guess of the 2,500 AMA clubs that are out there, at least over half have their FRIAs established. With the delay of enforcement on remote ID to March 16th, 2024, there should be more and more FRIAs being established as the process is understood both by clubs, the AMA, and the FAA. And some people are upset that the AMA has FRIAs and not individual property owners. I've covered that in other briefings. It's just the way the ruling is written per language in the FAA Authorization Act of 2018. It just has to be a community-based organization. So the vast number of FRIAs are being issued to the AMA, but there are other FRIAs being issued to educational institutions for STEM and student outreach training on aviation. So how to find out what fields, AMA fields, have FRIA status? Let's take a look at the AMA's website on this. I'll just do a normal Google search. You do not have to be a member of the AMA to find this club listing, but just let me take you through it, how you can very easily determine which fields have FRIA status. Again, FRIAs, there's no remote ID equipment whatsoever for recreational aircraft, 250 grams or over. So we do a simple Google search and you'll come up with the AMA Club Finder. This is the section of the AMA website. Super easy to use. We'll just pick a city. I'll pick Atlanta because it's nearby in Georgia. And we'll pick 200 miles just to see a wide range of clubs. There's activities permitted, different types of flying, different types of restrictions, in this case turbines, if that's what you're worried about. details on the club, club level, and also some general information points. Notice here that little box, the FRIA sites, the FAA Recognized Identification Area. So we click on that, and this is a list of the 77 AMA clubs with FRIA status within 200 miles of Atlanta. You can see the little green FRIA sticker on each one of these sites because we put that in as a filter. It's very easy to click on the club to get details of that club. In this case, a Black Sheep RC club. I've never been there. We're just clicking on it. Information on the club, the website, a map of where it's located, various activities that are allowed at the club. Just a very handy device to find clubs, and per this video, to find FRIA authorized RC clubs. The FAA will eventually have a list of all their FRIAs on their UAS data delivery system. So the UAS data delivery system is a very comprehensive interactive map that describes or shows everything from instrument approach routes, VFR sectional charts, restricted airspace, various classes of airspace, all on one interactive map. So the FRIAs are not yet posted. My guess is because the enforcement date is not until March 16th, 2024, there's not an urgent need to have them listed right now. At some point, I do fully expect that the FRIAs will be listed on this map. Let's take a look at this data delivery system to show you on the layers where you'll be able to find the FRIAs once this map is updated with these features. Easiest just to Google for the UAS data delivery service. And it'll come up right here. You click on it, and here is the FAA's interactive map. It's being built, but we'll take a look at it. So we'll open it up. Here is the graphic display. You can zoom in and out with your mouse. Just have to play with it a little bit. And you can see things like the red are restricted areas, green are the initial showing controlled airspace. Now the layers will show you the various things: recreational fixed flying sites, prohibited areas, national security areas, different types of controlled airspace. And another interesting one is the sectional chart. For all you pilots out there, it's a sectional chart, very handy to use. Eventually, FRIAs will be on this layer list. You'll be able to click to see exactly where the FRIAs are located. Thank you for joining me in this video. FRIAs are a very good deal for recreational flyers. You can fly just as you have in the past without any remote ID equipment whatsoever for recreational flight, good for 4 years. And the AMA has a very easy to use comprehensive system for locating the FRIA approved RC model airplane flying sites. Thank you.